Okay, so leaks for the new chapter of Record of Ragnarok literally just dropped like a few minutes ago. And after reading them, I just, this chapter is pretty hype, I'll be honest. This is probably one of the hypest chapters we've gotten in the past like 5 chapters. But moving on, we see that this chapter pretty much starts off kind of where we left off in the last one. And we see that Ares is kind of just talking to Kinshi Huang. And we see that Ares is getting pretty aggressive since, Kinshi Huang did kind of fodderize him in the last chapter. And we see that, Ares tries to, throw King Shi Huang off of the chair. And we see that King Shi Huang just does the exact same thing and just flips Ares on his head and just sends him flying. Now, this pretty much is, kind of like a gag, since Ares is kind of like a gag character in the series, but it's still a pretty impressive feat since we know that Ares is, relative to Heracles, meaning that Qin Shi Huang is probably, stronger than Heracles. But moving on, we see that Gull, which is, storms into the balcony arena, and we see that, Brunhild is also accompanying her. And we see that Brunhild is probably talking to Qin Shi Huang about his next fight against Hades. And we see that Qin Shi Huang looks pretty, he looks pretty ready to fight Hades. And we see that the announcer for the, the commentator for Ragnarok, then, appears on the screen. And we see that, these people that are shown in the next panel, they are like Qin Shi Huang supporters, if I'm not mistaken. And we see that, Qin Shi Huang has quite a few supporters on his side. And we see that next there's like a red carpet that gets, thrown onto the floor because Qin Shi Huang is making an entrance. This entrance is pretty grandiose, but it looks pretty cool. So anyway, moving on, we see that obviously Qin Shi Huang gets onto the stage. But we also see that one of the Valkyrie sisters have also been revealed. And we see that, this Valkyrie sister, it looks kind of sad in this panel. I'm not sure what her name is, but she is one of the Valkyrie sisters. And we see that Qin Shi Huang is, kind of bonding with this Valkyrie sister. And it makes sense because they need to bond to actually create the weapon and merge together. And we see that obviously Qin Shi Huang is, he's being a Sigma, and he's actually managing to, spit some game with this Valkyrie sister, because we all know that the Valkyrie sisters have to agree to, risk their life to turn it into a weapon for these fighters of Ragnarok to actually be able to have a chance. But we see that obviously Qin Shi Huang does merge with this sister, and Qin Shi Huang looks pretty cool with his new armor. And once you guys see this, you guys will also, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will like the look of this armor that Qin Shi Huang has. But moving on, we see that Hades also, steps onto the field, and we see that Hades is holding a spear. This spear has like two, jagged protrusions coming out of it, which looks pretty cool at the top. But moving on, we see that Hades is also getting ready to fight, and Hades looks pretty serious. And I'm pretty sure in one of these panels he's talking about Poseidon, because that is Hades' brother, and Hades did sound like he does care about Poseidon quite a lot. But moving on, we see that Hades is just posing for just for this panel, and he looks pretty cool, to be honest. But then the next panel, we finally get the announcement of the fight actually beginning. And we see this cool panel of them staring off at each other. But then moving on, we see that Hades just straight up just starts the fight and, just comes out with the first move. And we see that Hades just straight up attacks Qin Shi Huang head on. And we see that Qin Shi Huang, dodges this. He tries to dodge anyway. But then Qin Shi Huang actually sustains some damage, which is pretty, it's pretty abrupt considering the fight literally just started. And this damage, it doesn't seem too bad, but it's not like a little scratch. He definitely did sustain some damage. But then moving on, we see that Qin Shi Huang, kind of blocks Hades' spear. And we see that Qin Shi Huang straight up just blocks it back at Hades, which this could be, Qin Shi Huang's ability being revealed right here. But moving on, we see that I guess this is kind of the end of the spoilers, because we see, I guess, King Shi Huang do a pose with kind of like a triangle, or not a triangle, a star behind him, which could be, I guess, this could signify what his ability actually is. We don't know exactly what this ability is yet, but I'm assuming it has something to do with reflecting attacks or countering attacks, which is pretty surprising considering I thought King Shi Huang would be kind of more, like a speed type of character, because we see that he actually didn't completely dodge Hades' attack. He actually tried to block it, but instead he did take some damage. But in the second attack, he was actually able to deflect Hades' spear completely, which is also pretty impressive considering Hades is, one of the strongest gods in Ragnarok. But apart from that, that's pretty much all the spoilers. I feel like this chapter is definitely going to establish a few feats for King Shi Huang, and once we actually, get the full translations, we'll actually be able to have a good idea of what is fully going on in this chapter. But if I was to give you guys a rough summary of what's going to happen in this chapter, we're going to see, I guess, a brief introduction to King Shi Huang and his supporters. We're going to see, Brunhild, converse with King Shi Huang as well. We're also going to see Hades, I guess, talk about his brother in this chapter. I'm sure I saw something on the Reddit that, said something about Hades talking about his brother. And we're also obviously going to see the beginning of King Shi Huang versus Hades. But apart from that, that's pretty much it for this video. If you like the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because I post quite a lot of Record of Ragnarok content on the channel. And if you like that stuff, then this channel is definitely for you. But apart from that, I will see you in my next video.